And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Talk Now Live. Welcome to the CTN Crypto Roundtable. It is Wednesday, and that is the Roundtable Day. So we are grateful that everyone has joined us here today. Of course, myself, Max, Daniel, and the Crypto Smith, Sean, would like to welcome everyone that has joined us. Let us say hello to everybody. We'll start out, of course, as a part of tradition with Max. Max, how are you doing this evening?
Sorry. I'll say this much. I've had nothing but problems with, the internet today, Twitter. I guess I'm not the only problem having problems with Twitter. Wadi's having problems with Twitter. I don't know what the heck is going on. I tried a different browser. I was like, well, it's a different browser. Problems with that as well. I can only log in from the mobile, Twitter, basically. It's just a pain in the butt. And it just, I use Twitter. That's like my crypto tools. We got the Crypto Smith in the house, aka Sean. He's forging the crypto pieces of the coins and stuff, and I can't even have my crypto tool belt, which is my Twitter, working properly. So man, that's what's going on. It's a pain in the butt, but glad to be here with these guys with the Crypto Roundtable. Looking forward to it. Should be a great show.
How you doing today, Daniel? How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm here with the Crypto Smith. He's forging all these good coins for us, getting ready to get all this stuff moving. I'm sitting here. I got my iPad, so I'm not even on my computer, so I don't understand the computer problems today. But I'm ready. I'm ready for the roundtable. Excited for it.
And how about you, Sean? How are you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic. I cannot complain, and if I did, nobody would listen.
How about you, Wadi? How's it going?
I enjoy being with you guys, though. It's fun.
Thank you for coming.
Good. Thank you for having me over. And sorry for the delay. I don't know what happened with Twitter. It just kicked me off.
Same here, kicked me off. So that's okay. That's a thing then, obviously. I mean, okay. Yeah. So I would say that's bad, but it's good in a way because it tells me, Max, it's not just you with problems. So if you got computer problems, I feel bad for you, son, because I got 99 computer problems, but a fast internet connection ain't one. So yeah, there we go.
So before we get into it,
I logged in and then it kicked me out, right? And then I logged in again and I get the code and everything supposedly working fine, and then I get kicked out again. I'm like,
oh man,
what the heck?
Yeah.
So before we get into it, let us say hello to some people in the audience. XXI Gaming is here. He says, let's go, CTN family. Thank you so much. We are a family. Welcome everybody here.
XXI.
Tweet the show out. Yes, he's really good about doing that. If you guys could go on to Twitter and tweet out our show, I'll show you. I don't have everybody's Twitter on here, but I will show you two Twitters, myself and Max. And you guys that are with us on the roundtable, if you guys want to drop your Twitter handles, go ahead and drop them in the comments so everybody in the audience can follow you guys on Twitter. Brian Dowie's here. He says, what's up, guys? Crypto for sizzle, my nizzle McDizzle.
Mike, good to see as well.
Crypto Mike is in the house. Thank you so much. Watermelon Sugar Crypto High is here. Good evening, all. Thank you so much. Tim Shea says, hey, because it's almost like a registered trademark at this point. That's what he says. Let's see here. Everybody's still in here. Look at that. Look who's here. Eddie T is here. He says, smash the like button if you would. That's a good idea. We appreciate you mentioning that. And sweet, not so sweet Caroline. They want to bring in, Caroline's coming here to talk to Wadi. No,
God. I hope she's not here to talk to any of us.
I'm just stupid. That's all.
Oh boy.
All right.
Somebody could be like, well, sweet Caroline, bomb. Oh, yeah, you bomb. Get the heck out of here. Like, be gone.
Mr. Lambos, Crypto Talk says, what's up, CTN family? Yes, everybody here in the round table is part of the CTN family, and all you people out there are especially beautiful watching. Patches is here. Patches is going to have his own Twitter. We haven't set it up yet. I keep meaning to do that. It's actually on my list. But thank you so much for the mention here. Patches is going to have a Twitter. Watermelon Sugar sounds tasty. Yes, send Caroline Wadi's link. No, can't do that.
We're good.
Can't do that. It's against the rules.
Hey, speaking of Patches from earlier, it looks like Patches was watching old school like 1985 Betamax / VHS or something going on there in the background. So that's cool. We like to keep it nostalgic over here at Crypto Talk now. So
yeah, he's got that little Patches. What are you doing over there, Patches? Oh, he's just sleeping. It's not in his contract to talk, and it's not in his contract to interact with us. It's just in his contract to sleep. So that's what he does. But we've got a great discussion here that's going to take place. Max, why don't you kick it off? What do you have for us to start talking about? Oh, Big Watch Dude is here, by the way. Let's say hello to Big Watch Dude. Well, go ahead, Max. What do you have for us to start with?
What's up, Big Watch?
well, yeah, good to see you, Big Watch Dude. So I had a whole nice outline for us today, but with computers problems and so on, I was only able to get one main thing. And I thought, you know what, this is actually going to work out well because, you know, if anything, I want us to have just that, the nice little roundtable discussion. That's the way it should be. So what we're going to get first into, and I'm not going to, you know, read a bunch of text or anything like that, but I want to show you guys this. And it's kind of a preview of what's to come, to say the least. So I'm going to start off with this because a lot of people are wondering about this. So it doesn't matter if you come from the quant videos and so on, it gets brought up quite a bit. All right. So I'm going to bring your attention to this key area of this. So it says money supply was drained in 2022. Yeah, no duh. It says crypto sank, but money supply will turn around and start rising again in early 2023 as a rapid collapse in inflation and economic activity prompts a sharp turn in Fed policy. Well, we know this. This is literally happening in here soon. Cryptos will consequently soar. That's what I personally believe. Now, before we kick it into the actual question, I'm going to get into, for instance, what the topic is going to be here, and that is this. It says, throw in the fact that the fourth Bitcoin halving is in April 2024, and that crypto winners, listen to this, guys, will tend to end 12 months before the halving. So, key thing here, April 2024, 12 months before that, April 2023. With that said, do you guys feel as though that this is a bunch of malarkey, or is there enough evidence to show, like it mentions here, the stage appears set for a crypto boom cycle in 2023. It says we've talked about the money supply, part of this bull thesis. Today, we want to spend some time digging into the Bitcoin halving part of just that, the bull thesis. How aware of you are in regards to this particular bull thesis? Is it accurate? Is it not accurate? Who wants to start first?
I'll go. So the problem that I have there is the fact that it's actually the other way around. So from my experience and from what I noticed, the halving comes first, and like 100 and something days later, the bull market starts. So, I mean, I don't know where they're getting that data from, but if it does happen, then it's welcome because we're all tired of this damn crypto winter. So
I'll go next. I actually don't agree with that either. I don't think that we're going to be in a bull run until 2024. And the reason why is I just think that there's other factors that are going to come into play with crypto. And crypto has never been through a recession like we're going to go through. So I think we're going to experience it together. And this is new for crypto. And I'm a firm believer in the crypto market cannot be in a bull run if the stock market's in a recession. They're too connected at this point. So I tend to believe that until the stock market turns around and goes into a bull run, the crypto market's not going to go into a bull run. They're just too interconnected at this point. I know Bitcoin was made to be a hedge against inflation, but newsflash, it's not a hedge against inflation yet.
It's a hedge against money printing.
Yeah, so I'll say I'm going to agree with Wadi and Daniel in that if you just look at the chart, it's pretty simple. When the Bitcoin halvings happened, normally the bull run, I mean, like in 2016, the bull run didn't start then until probably 9 months later. So, I mean, it was a long time. I mean, maybe it started. I guess you have to go back after it starts and figure out when it started, but that's not really something you can predict ahead of time. So, and I usually have issues with statements like usually, like this usually happens in crypto. Well, crypto hasn't been around long enough for us to say usually, right? And what have we had? 3 Bitcoin halvings. So there's just not enough data there to support any of that stuff. So and Daniel's right. You always have to look at the bigger market. We're not separate from the other financial markets out there, and I don't think this certain set of circumstances that we're living through right now existed in the past halving cycles. So there's a lot of variables to deal with, and I'm not convinced that we go anywhere until the market turns around in general, and some sort of regulation starts to pop off, at the federal level.
All right, fair enough. I will state this. The way I am personally looking at it is I'm sticking to my guns on this. When it comes to particular data analysts, the guys that basically wrote this, if you will, they were hired. One in particular, I should say, Luke Lango. He's done work with the Philadelphia 76ers, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They literally rely on this particular guy. He has a lot of stock background and so on. And I'm also looking at from the perspective that, for instance, that first original crypto winner, basically like Bitcoin in itself dropped 90% over 22 months, I should say. And it ended about 12 months before the original first Bitcoin halving. And then, of course, from there, we saw a second crypto winner, which saw Bitcoin drop 80% over 59 months. And that basically ended at about 12 months before the second Bitcoin halving. And then the third crypto winner, right? Well, you knew about that one. Saw Bitcoin drop 80% over 52 months. It ended about 12 months before the third Bitcoin halving. So I'm just kind of looking at all this particular data, and I'm saying to myself, well, one thing remains, and that is we never had a utility run. I think if anything, we can agree on that. And that's what excites me. I see that there's going to be a utility run, and then it's going to start the real true bull run. But I'm in a minority in regards to that, but that's what I'm going with. To me, that makes sense.
I guess you have to define a bull run, right? And how I see 2023 laying out is, I'm not saying that we're going to flatline all of 2023 like we are right now. I think at the end of 2023, you're going to see this uptick and then a level off, right? So if you want to define that uptick and that level off as a bull run, then yeah, you're right. You're in a bull run. But I don't officially call a bull run until everything's really running. I think at the end of 2023, could you see a $20,000 to $25,000 Bitcoin? Yeah, probably the third or fourth quarter, maybe. But to me, that's not a bull run.
Yeah, and to add up to what Daniel's saying, maybe a pre-bull run, maybe, but I don't agree that the bull run is gonna kick into full effect until like around 2024, 2025 starting.
So Daniel Rose, he brought up an interesting point that he doesn't believe that, and I agree with this. So that's why I might have to hedge my bet with my prediction. But he was saying that he doesn't think that the bull run will start until we get regulatory clarity, right? You did mention that. So when does everyone here on the in the roundtable think that we'll get some sort of regulatory clarity? Let's just say the regulatory body is the SEC. When do you think that we'll get some sort of firm guidelines and regulatory clarity so that we can now operate within those guidelines? Anybody have a guess as to when that clarity will come out, or is it just still kind of whipping in the wind right now?
No, I mean, honestly, I would say it's still whipping in the wind, because the problem is this, if we go based on the FCC, or we go based on the SEC, really, how much do they really know about blockchain technology? Because if we go by whoever's in charge of Washington, D.C., then that's a total lost case. We're going to take another 20 years before we start doing the whole regulatory thing to take effect. So unless they start hiring, you know, fresh meat, as you want to call it, the people that are actually specialists in cryptocurrency. But then I think about all the hassle that they will have to go through. You know how hard it is to read transaction and everything else? So, yeah.
Let me just do this real quick before we hear from more people. I know that Daniel wants to say something, but let me just do this. Let's just try something a little different on the show. Let's get some more interaction if we could, get some more comments flowing. Would you guys do us a favor? Tim Shea, everybody that's here, Crypto McDizzle, drop some questions in the comments that you would like us to answer for you, that you would like the roundtable to discuss. Let's bring in a little bit of comments here, and then we'll get into what Daniel was about to say. Shinobi Analytics, I believe it's Keith. Welcome back, Keith. He says, big pain coming for the market next year. Bitcoin will dump hard. Keith is here, says Tim Shea, the commissioner of crypto.
Oh, good to see you, Keith. It's been a long time. Good to see you.
Crypto
Good to see you,
McDizzle.
Keith.
What's going on, Keith?
But they're going to start buying early, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February 14th. Well, you know what? Maybe the bull run does start then, but it's like almost like a long takeoff of an airplane on a long runway. And then the real bull run, the all-time highs are 2000.
Well, that's the thing, right? There's a difference between all-time highs and the start of a bull run is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's why I said the pre-bull run.
Pre-bull run.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coochie Boy. He says, what's up to CTN family here?
Hey,
everyone's saying hello to each other. Tim Shea thinks that we're already in a recession. He agrees with Daniel Gayton. This is the reason why we need to buy the dips, says Coochie Boy. Coochie Boy agreeing Bitcoin halving will not be big. According to Keith, 10% interest rates will stay all the way till 2024. Tim Shea is saying that Gary the Gopher, Gensler and the SEC are corrupt. Mr. No Fakes is here, CTN. And then he says Link or Adam. Both have been drawing a lot of attention, wondering views on which will do better in 2023. All right, here's your first panel question from the audience. What do you guys think? Link or Adam? Which one's going to be better? Whoever wants to jump in and answer that. Adam?
Yeah.
Anybody else have an opinion on those two?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Adam. I think they have too many connections. What they're doing with their particular own ecosystem, and then some of the other things they've got going on with Luna Classic, you name it, right? They just stand out a little bit more. They trend more. I'm not flooding Link. I think there's still opportunity with that, but they just don't simply trend as much. There's not enough attention at Link. Let's face it.
I'm gonna go with Adam, just for the simple fact that they are out there a little bit more.
And I'm going to go with Adam as well. Now, just to be clear, I don't follow Adam at all. I only like the name. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
We appreciate the honesty, man. That's what it's about, right?
There we go.
Yeah,
that sounds like an answer that I might say. Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. Here's a good one for you guys. So when the bull run begins, what are the top 5 must-haves in your crypto portfolio? So he wants basically our top 5. If whoever wants to grab that question and run with it first can go ahead, please.
I'll grab it. I'll grab it. I absolutely love this question.
Go ahead.
I think you got to have your top 3. I think you have to have some Bitcoin and you have to have some Ethereum. But I'm going into within the top 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB. I want to go into the bull run with more BNB than I do Ethereum and Bitcoin, just for the fact that I think your returns on your investment for BNB during the bull run will be bigger than they will with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I believe you have to have XRP, and I think you have to have Quant as your top major blue chips. But for your lower market cap tokens, I'm going to give you 7 because I break them up. Lower market caps, I'm going in with MetaMonkey AI and Volt.
Okay.
I'll give you mine next real quick. I just wrote it down so I can refresh my memory. But XDC, ALBT, XLM, Quant, and XRP. And in full transparency, the only one that I currently hold right now is XLM because I've had it for a long time. But I'm bullish on XDC. ALBT, I'm bullish. So ALBT is a little bit what tips the scale for being number 2 for me is the market cap is so incredibly low at $10 million. And Tim Shea eloquently calls it the little cousin of Quant. So that's good for me. But you know, the other one too I'm thinking about is LCX, looking into more of that. That's partnered with Quant, right? So I learned that from Max. That could be like a number 6, but maybe LCX could be number 6 for me. But I've got XDC, ALBT, XLM, Quant coming in at number 4. And then number 5, XRP. The only thing that drops XRP down to 5, because I know Sean loves XRP, it's not a knock on XRP. It's just I just look at the market cap. That's the only thing that makes it further down on the list for me, because I feel like I miss a lot of the opportunity with XRP. Now people will probably say, Larry, you're crazy. This XRP is going to go to $100 or whatever it's going to go to in the future. But I look at them. A lot of what I look at is I look at what I like. I look at the utility, and then I really kind of like look at it through like a lens of what the market caps are like. So I kind of I'm prejudiced against the ones that already have a high market cap. Does that make sense? So that's what drops XRP down to 5. And then LCX is a 6 because I just don't know enough about it, but it kind of intrigues me. I kind of took Casper out of the list. I don't know, like just Casper is like, I don't know. It's kind of flat for me. It doesn't seem like a lot of people talk about it. Maybe there just needs to be some more, eyes.
A lot of people talk about it. You talk about it. You just did a video on it.
I mean, I just started talking about it, but there doesn't. When I was researching, it didn't seem like there's a lot talking about it. So, but yeah. So
fair enough.
And in full transparency, I own 90% of the ISOs already, and I'm very comfortable going into the bull run with the bags that I have. And ALBT just continues to get added to. Cool.
Yeah, ALBT is of all the ones here now. It's not officially an ISO, right? Technically, I guess, but it's right there. Yeah. It's being used, right? So, I'm not an expert in ALBT, but what's attracted to me is the market cap being so low. So, who's next? Who wants to give us their top 5?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say in this order: XRP, Quant, Stellar, LCX, and then XDC, I think. And yeah, of course, I have some ALBT and some others, but I'm big on the ISO 222 tokens. Anything that's going to have real world utility out there. I don't hold any Bitcoin, and people ask me, are you crazy? How come you don't have Bitcoin? Well, because literally every single other token out there is going to outperform Bitcoin.
Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, the return on investment, right?
And it has no utility. So every one of these tokens or coins, they can all be a store of value, right? It's in a transactional type token, which you can use Bitcoin for. So for me at this point, just because it's the oldest doesn't mean it's the best.
I'm over here smiling, Sean, because you are on the ALBT wagon, baby. I love it.
Adding some ALBT as we speak, sir.
I love it.
I just want to state this real quick. We have 20 people here. Thank you so much for joining us at Crypto Talk Now for this roundtable discussion. It's something that we do weekly. If you're new to crypto or you're a longtime investor, please, any questions, comments you have, feel free to drop it in the comment section. We have a very welcoming community. And if you happen to have no avatar, consider changing that. It helps us identify you a lot easier. We want to go ahead and welcome you. Wadi, how about you? What about your particular ones?
All right, so I got a few, and I'm gonna start with list 1, which is obviously the ISO, ALBT, XDC, XLM, XRP, Quant. I'll eventually add it, but right now it's too pricey for my taste. I'm gonna add a microcap, MetaMonkey AI, because their technology is only gonna get better, in my opinion. When everything starts rolling out, things are just gonna get way better, and I think it's gonna do good. Now, BRA, I don't know if you ever heard of Veracity.
Yes, I have.
Oh yeah, we did a video on that one.
The one IO Tex. Have you ever heard of it?
Yep. I think there's a lot of upside on that one too, man.
Yeah. Final one. Because that's the problem I have. I'm a blue chip expert. Well, not an expert, but I tend to know more about blue chips than micro caps. So I don't know how you guys feel about B-Rise, but B-Rise, in my opinion, actually can do very well within the next bull market. And the best part is that it is dirt cheap. And I was doing a calculation the other day. Let's say, for example, if I take $2,000, put in B-Rise, just wait until it hit 1 cent, I'll make about $136 million.
Wow.
B-Rise is good. Their supply is extremely high.
Yeah, that's.
Do they have a? I have a little moon bag of B-Rise, but I can't remember. Do they have a burning mechanism of some sort?
No,
B-Rise?
not that I remember. But you see, this is all right. I don't know how you guys feel about this part, but a lot of people focus on that there's too much supply, there's too much supply, there's too much supply, right? For any token, even Shiba Inu, right? Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys know what's the supply on Dogecoin?
Yeah, I know it's high, but I don't know what it is offhand. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, I'll save you the research. It's unlimited.
Yeah, they can mint. Dogecoin can mint coins whenever they want.
They can mint them, yeah.
Yeah, so basically, with that being said, I used to think just like you guys, and I used to think, well, it's not gonna make sense. The supply is too high. I was expecting Dogecoin to hit 2 cents probably around 2026. And guess what? Elon Musk came in and shot it all the way up to 75 cents. So, with that being said, if you get the right investment partnership, B-Rise could come out no matter the supply, in my opinion.
And apparently they have the fastest blockchain. Supposedly it's faster than Solana. And I was like blown away with that. No one's been able to verify that. I mean, I'll take people's word on it. But I would like to see where like somebody actually proves that in a YouTube video or something like that. Like, because they boast it's supposed to be the fastest one.
This is jarring my memory. Yeah, remember we were looking into it, Max, when Todd from Todd,
right, he was really gung ho about it. Yep.
Wasn't there some kind of like a red flag you discovered on it? I couldn't remember what it was. There was something that
there's something that came out a while back that the devs did a fake docs, and that didn't set well with me at the time. It's just like they did some kind of like AI thing or something like that. Now, I mean, since then, I mean, I don't know if I should say that was 100% accurate, but during that time that we covered it, that was something that popped up. So, I mean, I don't want to state for the record that, it's 100% true and whatnot, but there was a lot of things that came out during that time period, and it just looked really, really sketchy because let's face it, there's a lot of sketchy projects that came out early 2022 and so on. And, people just didn't want to necessarily jump ship into something like that. But I think overall, maybe it ends up being a great project. But my main thing is, I mean, if they are going to be their own blockchain, or if not already, I mean, I guess they are technically. If you're going to have a faster blockchain, faster blockchain than Solana. I don't know. Maybe I just simply do a Google search, look it up on YouTube and so on. But I actually would love to see where it's tested, because I mean, if they are the fastest blockchain, that in itself is super impressive.
But here's the thing.
If I remember correctly, is 1 million transaction per second.
But here's the thing about blockchain that people, I think, they get confused. You can have the fastest blockchain, or you can have the fastest speeds on the market. But if nobody's using you or nobody's building on you, does it really matter?
That's a good point.
Ethereum's not the fastest blockchain on the market, but everybody's building on Ethereum. So does it matter? What's more important to you, the speed or the amount of projects on your blockchain? Because I'll tell you right now, there's not a blockchain out there right now that's got a bigger upside than Matic.
No, I like that analogy because here's my response to that just real quick. And that is, a few years ago, I was thinking about investing in Rolls-Royce, right, as a stock because it was super cheap. I'm like, oh man, Rolls-Royce, that's a big name, right?
Yeah.
But that stock ain't worth that much. Yeah. It's kind of like a perfect example. If, there's a certain niche of people who are buying Rolls-Royces and whatnot, but it's just not something that's going to be like impactful, like a Tesla stock, if you will. Now I understand where Tesla is going right now, but that's beyond the point. I like the point that Daniel made. That makes sense.
Yeah. Let me interrupt real quick and say hello to a few people here just to keep the audience in here. Hello to Prophet. Prophet is here, and Russell C is here, of course. Who else is here that we didn't mention? Sobo is here. Sobo is here.
Hey, Sobo, saw you in the recorded. Apparently a fellow teacher and so on. That's what Sobo was mentioning. So thank you for being here.
Link H. Von Zill is here. Thank you for being here. I haven't seen you here before. And Rafael Santos is here as well. Just wanted to say hello to a few people. I will run through this one comment real quick to get everybody to weigh in. And Tim Shea, the commissioner of crypto. I have seen a mathematical equation that puts the next Bitcoin high at 90,000 on May 2024. Your thoughts?
I mean, who wants to take that first? Go ahead.
Like I said, if it happens, it's welcome. But I don't know. It's kind of tough. Just to put it. Well, there's another factor that may take in effect, which is the fact that we're expecting a super cycle. I don't know if you guys know about that, but if the super cycle does happen, then we could see Bitcoin, in my opinion, around 150K. 200 will be pushing it, but I would say that would be the top.
So here's my opinion on that, Tim. I come from investing from a common sense perspective, right? We're at right around 16.5 right now, and the Fed's not done raising interest rates. And Tim, I like what you said earlier. We're already in a recession. We've been in a recession forever.
Yeah.
And this recession doesn't look like it's going to end anywhere close to the first 2 quarters of 2023, right? We're still going to be in it. So in order for Bitcoin to hit 90,000, it has to break through every single level of resistance and support to get to $90,000. So can it break through? Here's the question. I guess I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do you think that Bitcoin can break through every single resistance and support level in 2 quarters to get to 90,000 by the end of 2024? I don't think so. I think that the next bull run, if we'll be in a bull run, but I don't think that Bitcoin hits $100,000 in the bull run. I think it sits around 90,000, but I don't think it's going to be that early.
Anyone else want to weigh in on that before we say hello to a couple more people?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to agree with Daniel, of course. The market conditions have to change. Otherwise, this goes nowhere. And Wadi was saying super cycle, and we were talking about a super cycle almost a year ago where it was just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And that never materialized either. So I'm not sure
Plan
I
B.
that one. Yeah.
Plan B is rolling in his grave.
and then there's I was going to address Larry's comment about market cap when it comes to XRP. And I'm just going to leave this with you here. Okay. The utility doesn't care about market cap. Right? It literally means nothing. But,
Yep.
so real world utility is going to matter. All of these tokens that we talk about and we're going to get into and get out of over the next year or two, the only ones that are going to make it are the ones that have real world utility. And Shiba, and here's my prediction: Shiba will not exist in 5 years.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I'm considering when it gets to new all-time highs, I'm probably gonna I want to keep half of it, but I'm also like, you know what, with all the regulation,
and it's not
maybe on the next time I
opinion,
pull
of
out.
course, but
it
literally doesn't solve a problem, and it's only exists inside our tiny little crypto space, and the rest of the world is never going to care about it.
Well, then the same thing could be mentioned about Dogecoin then technically too. Do you see that going away?
Yeah,
I mean, that's in the top useless. 10. Yeah.
Well, once the masses, like, you have to look at the real money coming in, right? In order for this crypto space of ours to really flourish, the big dollars have to come in, and they're never going to come in until regulation. Once regulation comes in, Dogecoin doesn't exist anymore, right? You can't have unlimited supply. That's gone.
Neither does SHIB. SHIB doesn't exist.
Gone.
SHIB doesn't exist. SHIB doesn't make it through regulation. Dogecoin doesn't make it. This is just my opinion. Dogecoin doesn't make it through regulation. Well, Doge will make it through regulation. People just won't buy it. But I don't think SHIB will make it through regulation. And I'm with the Crypto Smith. I don't think 5 years SHIB's here anymore. I think there's going to be tokens within the Shiba ecosystem that will be here, but they won't be SHIB. I think Bone will still be here because they'll have their layer 2 blockchain. But I think there's a lot of tokens within the ecosystem that won't be here. I don't know, what do they have? 6, 7, 25 tokens by now? I mean, way too many. Not all of them are going to make it. I don't have all of the layer 1 blockchains and the layer 2 blockchains making it through regulation and making it through this bear market either. I think Solana. I don't think Solana's going to make it. I think somebody's going to acquire Solana, or Solana's going to fold. I don't have them making it through what's going on with them right now. So I don't think they're all going to make it.
I see blockchain wars over the next couple of years. That's what we're going to turn into. Right? They're all going to fight for that number 1, number 2, number 3 spot.
Yeah, I can see blockchains. Acquiring each other, and I think you're going to see Solana get acquired first. It's going to be the first layer 1 blockchain to get bought out by somebody else. Either that, or they're going to ride off into sunset.
Let's say hello to a few more people before we get more people on the panel or the roundtable to weigh in. Keltra is here, says hello to everyone, and M. Lurfang is here from across the pond. Shaman says, not to be confused with Simon says, is here, of course. And how about this? Greg Kelly, I haven't seen you here before. Thank you so much for being here, Greg Kelly. Anybody else?
Good to have you.
Lazy Jedi, this is the crypto show you are looking for is here. Purple Rain. No, not Purple Rain. I thought it was a Prince reference. Purple Radioactive is here. And somebody else. Abdi Omar is here. Thank you so much. And Salamander, the XTC commander, is here. We will get your comments soon, but I just want to give everyone a chance to talk. And by the way, thank you everyone for joining us here on this roundtable, all the speakers that are here. Who else wanted to kind of chime in? I just wanted to say hello to a few people.
Can I just say one other thing, Larry? Pump this bad boy up and ask Crypto Smith some questions. Pump it up. Fill that chat up with questions for the old Crypto.
Make them easy questions, all right?
Ask them all about XRP. Load them XRP questions up, man.
I will say this, that he makes a good point. When I'm trying to evaluate, the problem that I have is that there's 22,000 cryptos, and I would love for, 21,500 of them to go away. There's just too many. It's because there's too many choices. Like when you go to a store and you want to buy something, you don't want to look at 10,000 or 22,000 choices. But so I try to look at it.
It's the same way. Yeah, it's the same way. Like with gaming, like people ask me, Max, you used to be like really gung ho about gaming. How come you don't play all the games? It's too saturated. There's too many darn choices. 20 years ago, when I made my gaming community, DPG, we only had like a few choices, like Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Counter-Strike, things like that. It was really simple. It was easy to build a community. And now it's just like what Larry mentioned. It's too many freaking choices, and you can apply that to basically anything out there.
Yeah, I made a video today. I'm going to make a series of how to survive this bear market video. And one of the first one I put out today was literally how I had to go through every crypto that I owned and figure out what I wanted to go into the bull market with and what to concentrate on, because there's so many of them out there that you just go nuts with them, right? You could buy everything, right? So I'm putting a series of them out there. The first one was today, and that was the biggest problem, is creating a wallet just for the bear market. I mean, just for the bear market, so that you have everything that you need in the bull market, right?
Oh yeah.
So I had to create a whole separate wallet. I just call it my bear market wallet because I can't look it out everything else.
Well, how about this real quick before we do the plug for you? So how about this for you guys? Some of you guys know the answer, and maybe your audience does as well. Why did Caroline Ellison stare at the jug of orange juice for 12 hours straight in her jail cell?
Oh, jeez.
Anybody?
Is this a joke or a real thing?
Talking to her.
What's that, Sean?
I said because it was talking to her.
No, because it said concentrate.
Wow, I'm done.
Oh man!
I mean, this is the person who said, well, we use elementary school math, right?
Oh,
Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what's a stop loss?
Yeah, what's a stop loss? Jeez, are you kidding me?
Oh man!
Yeah, we don't need those types of things. Well, those things would have worked out really well.
It says concentrate on it.
Yep.
All right, well, let's plug everybody's channel while we have a moment here. This is Daniel Gayton. He just mentioned he's talking about how to survive through the bear market, how I am making it through this bear market. The first thing I did, here's his video right here. This is his channel, Daniel Gayton. Let's also talk about Wadi, the crypto hunter. And he is right here. You guys can follow him, subscribe to him. Look at that, lucky sevens, 777. Click on videos.
We're getting there, Wadi. Got to get you to that 1,000, Wadi. Getting there, buddy.
I'm trying.
And then we have the Crypto Smith, of course, Sean. The space Crypto Smith is one word. Here he is here, doing well as well. So
I gotta say that's the coolest logo. I love your logo, Sean. For real, you did a real good job on that. Yeah.
You know what's funny is it took me no time at all to come up with it.
Really?
It was just natural. I just thought, oh, Smith, crypto, Crypto Smith, and then I figured, okay, well, I paid Fiverr, like $80 to design a logo for me, and that's
Cool.
what they came up with. I love it. It's perfect.
Nice.
When I was making the little thumbnail for our stream, I took a second and I enjoyed your logo. I was like, that's pretty damn cool right there.
Hey, I see that we have almost 40 people here tonight. I want to, of course, thank you all the people who are just now connecting. We're having a roundtables discussion. It's something that we do on a weekly basis every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Here joined us on your guys' right, not mine. We have Daniel Gayton, lower right side of the particular screen. We have, for instance, Sean, the Crypto Smith, and then below where I'm at, we have Wadi, the Crypto Hunter, and all of us, of course, would love to welcome you with this particular roundtable discussion. Like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and by all means, drop some comments, questions. Let us know what you hold, some of your questions you have in regards to the future of crypto. You name it, we would love to hear from you.
I would like to bring this in because this is one that we don't talk about too much, and I believe that they are connected to Big Brother. Algorand. We don't really talk much about that. That's an ISO. What's your thoughts? Maybe I see Sean nodding his head. I have a positive feeling about Algo, but what are your thoughts? Maybe we'll start with Sean on Algorand.
I don't own any Algo, and I've not done a ton of research on it because there are too many other projects out there. But I think it also doesn't have to do with connectivity, interoperability to other blockchains.
Yes.
I mean, if that's what they're working on, then that's obviously positive for them and for crypto.
Mr. Lambo said it's a bargain right now at 16, 17 cent range.
It really
Max,
is.
Yeah, Max, you're going to do a deep dive soon on Algorand, correct?
Yeah, I hold Algo. It's one of the last ones I bought. Last time around, I bought same time I bought it. What was it? I bought Chili's at the same time. So I was already into Chili's last year. It came back in this year. It was a perfect case of buy the rumor, sell the news with the World Cup thing. I really thought that was going to happen, but what I should have took more of a deeper dive in is realizing the location of the World Cup and how that was going to have an effect. I think if anything, if you would have had it in a different country, like maybe a westernized country, maybe it would have been a perfect case of buy the rumor, sell the news on the upside, but it's okay. I looked at it from the perspective of both short-term swing trades as well as long-term. I think it'll be more than fine on both projects and especially with Algo. So yeah, I'm very bullish still on Algo. Looking forward to doing a deep dive. Watch out for it. Maybe within the next week or so.
Shout out to Coin on Crypto is in the house. He says, "Hey guys, cool show. Thank you for being here."
Hey, good to see you again. Remember yesterday.
And just to piggyback off of that with Algo, I like Algo and I've been watching Algo, and I think I'm going to add Algo, and I'm going to go against one of my rules that I even put in my video is not to add anything new to your bag during the bear market, but concentrate on what's in there. But Algo is one of the ones that is such of a bargain right now. And as soon as I figure out how to auto stake it in a Coinbase wallet, because I hate Coinbase wallets, but I know they have an auto staking feature for Algo, and as soon as I can figure that out, I'll do it. I'll buy it and just auto stake it over on Algo, and over on Coinbase wallet, and just let it sit until the bull run happens. But
let's pivot if we could, because this is a good point here. It's a good segue. Let's talk about LCX. Link H Von Zill. I have not seen you here before. Thank you so much for being here once again. LCX, he says, is so underrated with a small market cap still, yet regulated with
World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum, yeah.
World Economic Forum connections. Okay, I got it. The exchange of the future for me. So what do you guys, I know Max recently done a couple videos on it. Maybe somebody else wants to go first, and then we'll get Max to weigh in on it since he did a deep dive. Anybody want to talk about LCX?
I haven't done no research on that. What I was going to say as far as Algo is basically that, if I remember correctly, it was AMP and Algo that was working out a deal with Amazon. So in the long run, I actually plan to invest in Algo.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Sean? I know that you mentioned that you were really impressed with LCX. You said it was your number 4, if I'm not mistaken, on your list, right? Number 5?
Yeah. And this is, what's funny is that you got to take account of yourself. Like how are you going to invest in some of these projects and be okay with it in the future, right? And if you're not a fan of the WEF, then, you may not be a fan of a lot of this stuff, but somebody like me who's more pragmatic, and I say, well, this stuff is coming whether I like it or not.
That's where I'm at. Yeah.
How can I benefit from it? How can my family benefit from it and not be, in the mass population, down below? LCX is one of those that you're going to have to wrestle with. And LCX, to me, just given that 30,000 foot overview, they want to be the everything. They want to be the centralized exchange, the one and only. Which maybe in the future they are. I have no idea, but they're also looking to be the crypto bank. And so offering all of those different solutions, and then just the simple fact, the one thing that's really impressed me was that allowing, them having a code or whatever it was where they allow limit orders on Uniswap, with this centralized exchange. I was like, wow, I never even heard of that. So that was pretty cool. Even though I'm not a trader, I don't trade, I just buy and hold. I don't have time for that or the patience. So
that's how I am too. I'm not a trader at all. I'm a buy and hold guy. Yep, myself.
But I like the tech, and from what they're doing, obviously they're getting backing, from very, very powerful people. And, if that's the case, even if you don't like it, you might as well benefit from it.
Knowing that they're very appeasing to regulations. In that particular deep dive video I put out, since 2019, they've been working on this whole thing of being the first worldwide physical validator. And it's like, well, don't just dismiss it because you don't know what it is. If anything, understand, go back into history, if you will, since 2019, that was a big deal. And they did have a price pump in reflection of just that, with that, the announcement of being the first worldwide physical validator. I mean, it's one thing to have it in Liechtenstein, but, yeah.
So I got a question for you on that. So, I of course, I heard what you said about it. And I think you mentioned that LCX was regulated here in the U.S.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, they appease to U.S. regulations, if you will, because they're looked upon as being, I don't want to say 100% regulation safe, but as far as when we get to legislation being passed, which might be in March and so on, I think if anything, they won't be on the radar as, hey, let's go,
So do you know they're already part of an SEC lawsuit?
Yeah, that was mentioned a while back. But what I'm saying is, by them being, I guess you could say, quote unquote, compliant, if you will, with what's coming in the future, I don't see, like, for instance, how about this? The whole thing with the SEC and XRP and so on, when we get that win, I just don't see them being like, oh, well, we need to start focusing on these lower ones, lower market cap ones, AMP, LCX, you name it, because if anything, they have put things already in motion to show they have enough evidence to support, look, we are technically okay with your type of regulations and whatnot. But yes, I did realize somebody was going to mention that in particular, but you can go right to their particular site. They have a whole outline of specifically, appeasing U.S. regulations and whatnot. So I understand, one side, there's one side is going to say, well, this makes no sense because the SEC, and the other side says, well, but again, if you match up the dates and especially where they're going based on having the backlash from the SEC, if they don't appeal to regulations, then I don't know who the heck does, because they have literally jumped through hoops saying, look, we're going to be more than regulation safe, and here is why.
So I get what you're saying, and that makes sense, that they may be more compliant to whatever the SEC comes out, or whatever regulation ends up coming out in this country, and they're saying, hey, we're going to do whatever we need to do to make sure we're compliant with everything you guys want.
Well, and then some. Yeah, and then some. I mean, people look at like, well, oh yeah, you're the first, what was it, the first physical validator in Liechtenstein, and it said, oh, by the way, worldwide. Well, there's different types of laws, obviously, in Liechtenstein. That's a country that only has like, what, 37,000 people. But I mean, yeah, they definitely appease towards U.S. regulations going forward. And I think it will be a point in time in which the regulators will recognize that. As long as they do recognize that, they're going to be more than fine. But it sucks, of course, what the SEC did. It's not just AMP. It's not like XRP. It's quite a few. It's like roughly what, 6, 7, 8, something like that. There
were 9 tokens total that they mentioned in that lawsuit.
I know it's close with 8. Yeah.
Let me just interrupt real quick and just say hello to a few more family members that have joined us from CTN, the CTN family. Marcu, or I never say it right, MARCUR 80. Thank you so much. He says, good evening, gentlemen. Keep up the great work.
Good evening. Thank you. I get it now. Mark, you're 80.
Oh, Mark, you're 80. All right. Bitcoin BMW is in the house. Howdy, y'all, everyone. He's saying hello to everybody. And CTN family member Brittany is here saying happy Wednesday. Thank you so much, Brittany, for being here. So, yeah, I started to interrupt, but I just wanted to bring in the audience members.
This is the first time I actually hear about it, but so far I'm impressed. I like the partnership. It has Coinbase, Quant, Polkadot, Celo, Chainlink, Liquid, Hedera, Graph, which is HBAR, and World Economic Forum. So those are some big people backing it. And I try to see what else or who else is partnered up with them. But from what I'm understanding here, there are an exchange and portfolio and regulating. So it says LCX, the most secure, regulated, and trusted platform for buying and selling cryptocurrency. So I'll look more into it, but so far, just the partnership calls my attention.
Well, even the Quant partnership, that's what kind of did it for me, because I mean, You know, when it comes to quant, they don't just like necessarily reach out to other organizations. Quant stands out because it's the other way around. And on top of that, when it comes to blockchains, right, we know this with other blockchains, they, you know, a project says, hey, you want to be interoperable? Well, here's what you have to do. Stop whatever work you're doing. Here's what you have to do to be interoperable with us. That's not the case with Quant. Because for one, they're blockchain agnostic. They don't have to worry about that. They're an operating system. So if anything, when they say all we need is to basically write 3 lines of code, you become interoperable, it makes it that much more significant. And oh, by the way, for anybody who has fudded Quant, basically stating that, well, Max, it's a ERC20 token. Those darn gas fees. I don't want to get into it because of this. I did a video addressing the misinformation of just that. You can basically exchange your ERC20 token and it becomes a QRC20 token in which you don't get hit with those stupid gas fees in a bull market. Because let's face it, when Quant goes to the moon or Pluto or where the heck we're going with it, you don't want to get slapped with a great big fee. But I do see this particular question on the bottom. I don't know if we had a chance to let everybody respond yet. How do you want to go about that, Larry?
Yeah. So first I want to say hello to, because I missed you on here. Tab Cunningham, thank you so much. Give everybody out there, please welcome Tab Cunningham. I think it's a lady or a man new to the show here, but it looks like there's a little puppy dog that looks similar to Patches when he was a little puppy dog, and there's maybe that's your daughter there. But
Beethoven, like that movie Beethoven. Remember Beethoven?
Yeah.
So Saint Bernard, yeah.
So what I want to do here is I want to have somebody else answer this question first, because I know Max is very knowledgeable with Quant, but let's get someone else to ring in first and have Max go last. Here's the question. Do you believe Quant will take Bitcoin in the next 10 years in terms of market cap? Thank you for your time, gentlemen. So do you guys think that Quant will be having a bigger market cap than Bitcoin sometime in the next 10 years? That is the question. Whoever wants to grab it first.
I mean, Quant is good. Don't get me wrong. But having a bigger market cap than Bitcoin itself, that I kind of find very hard to believe. And I'm sorry for the fans, Max.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, then get the heck out of here.
I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say no for one reason and one reason only. I believe that Quant has the ability to have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin in the next 10 years. But I think when big money comes into cryptocurrency, and you can see it with Fidelity right now, Quant's not on their list of things that people can buy on their exchanges right off the bat. So that's going to immediately pump up Bitcoin and Ethereum and everybody else to levels we probably haven't seen in a while. But should Quant have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin? Yes. Will it? Unless it gets listed on them types of exchanges, the answer is no, because that's where your big money's going to come into crypto from. It's not going to come in through Gemini or anywhere like that. It's literally, Fidelity's already started. JP Morgan's already in the process. These are the exchanges where your big, huge money that'll move the market cap is going to come from.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's, if you look at it, I mean, just because I don't like Bitcoin doesn't mean a lot of other people out there, don't like it. So, bull runs come and go over the next 10 years. We'll probably likely see 2 or 3, and until we actually start to stabilize and we turn into more of the stock market, really, where it just, those gains you're going to see are going to be less and less, laws of diminishing returns. And as Quant goes up in value, Bitcoin also therefore goes up in value. Quant has a lower supply than Bitcoin, so it would be very difficult. Something would have to happen to Bitcoin in order for Quant or any other token really to take over. I mean, unless you have a much, much larger supply. In market cap, I think, XRP and there could be some others that could take over Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's still going to be there near the top, I think.
We have 40 people in the house tonight. Thank you so much for being here. We're almost approaching an hour. If you guys will hit the like button, it's been a great show. Let's get the Quant Maxi to weigh in here. We'll get Daniel first.
I do want to say that I do think Quant will, at the end of the bull run, end up in the top 10.
Top 10?
I think so. Probably top 5.
That I could agree with. Second now, Bitcoin. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
How about you, Mr. Quant? What do you think, Max?
Mr. Quant. Wow. They call a lot of things. They call that, but hey, I'll rock with that. Yeah, to answer that particular question, I don't know if you still have it. By the way, I just see a super chat come in. I just want to answer this real quick before we get into that. So on this particular question, it says, do you believe Quant will overtake Bitcoin in the next 10 years? Yes, I believe 100% it will. What excites me so much is go back into history. Recognize, for instance, 1992, right? Technically, 92 was the year that, you know, we were really starting to talk about, for instance, internet and things like that. But what was the big thing? It was email, right? So there was a time in period of where we had the internet, but it wasn't really technically called the internet. And, you know, going from that to, for instance, email, and then going from that to more of that adoption, if you will. The key thing here is adoption. Don't have so much focus on just, you know, what the retail markets are doing and so on. Well, I want to agree with a lot of things what Daniel mentioned and so on. My focus is not when it comes to retail. My focus is what is going on with institutional money, because if anything, that is where the real money is, to say the least. Of course, I want to recognize before I finish what I'm stating, Crypto McDizzle for shizzle manizzle for show, aka Crypto Mike, aka a lot of things, right? With the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Mike. And I did go ahead and give you a shout out on the particular XRP XLM video that's going to be premiering tomorrow morning. Be out on the lookout for that. But he states in this particular $2 super chat, ISO 222 brings quadrillions into the space. And that is very, very true. It's not just cross-border, but we're talking about literally overseas payments and the influx of all that money coming in. That's how we achieve crazy market caps that people have never seen before. And I understand, you know, for like a lot of Bitcoin maxis are like, no, it's Bitcoin or bust. And I'm just thinking to myself, how can you say it's Bitcoin or bust? Bitcoin, it costs way more for these transactions. The banks aren't going to hop on it. You already know that they aren't, right? They're literally taking in these particular technologies of the likes of, for instance, XRP, XLM, right? And yeah, by the way, they have that quant connection. How do we know that? Look it up for yourself. By the way, check out the next quant video, which was released today, but it has a prelude what's coming up in the future. Gilbert Verdian just got back from Massachusetts, from the Boston area. Guess who he was kicking it with? MIT and so on. Working basically with who? The New York Fed and whatnot, trying to get the US CBDC going. Again, think about this. It's not about looking at a particular cryptocurrency, swiping your debit card and saying, oh, well, this just says Visa on it, or this just says MasterCard on it, but it doesn't say Quant on it. It doesn't matter. What matters is what these particular ones are tied into. When you hear expressions from Crypto Mike, where you swipe that darn card and people don't even need to know what it's tied into, that's how we get mass adoption that you would never even dreamed about, because those little technicalities, yeah, it doesn't matter.
But here's the thing with Quant. There's two things with Quant, and I love Quant. I own Quant, and I'm gonna keep buying Quant. Every time I can tell you my price range. Every time it drops below $109, I buy it. So I'm gonna continue to add Quant to my bag. Here's the thing with Quant. You don't need Quant to run on Quant. And also, Quant's tied to the ERC20 token. So Quant will never outperform Ethereum because it's tied to Ethereum. And if you do the math, I don't know if it's tied to Ethereum and it's almost in whatever that match is, it can't outperform Ethereum because the math doesn't work because it's tied to Ethereum. So that's Quant's two major issues right now. Yes, could it outperform it from percent base or a market cap base? I mean, you know, a percent gain base, yeah, of course. But you know, the bottom line, you know, if Ethereum goes up, Quant goes up. If Ethereum goes down, Quant goes down. Does that mean it goes down 5%? If it goes, if Ethereum goes down 5%, does Quant go down 5%? No, Quant might only go down 3%, but it's still going to take that dip. And you don't need quant like these. I don't need quant to run on quant. Right? It's not a blockchain; it's an application. So
operating system, yeah.
Right. So at the end of the day, quant's price action on the quant token itself is based on the contracts that it signs with everybody else.
Salamander in Space, the XDC commander. Thank you for the $5 donation. These are his bags: XDC, XRP, XLM, Quant, Algo, Luna Classic, and Casper. Thank you so much. I want to bring in.
That's a great bag, isn't it? That's a great.
That is a great bag. His XDC bag is probably the most impressive one. I will say that because I mean how much he holds. But thank you, Salamander. Really appreciate the $5 super chat, and you basically always being here supporting us.
That's a hell of a good looking bag, man.
The thing that we also gotta take into consideration, whether people like it or not, Bitcoin runs everything. If Papa Bitcoin goes up, everything follows. Papa Bitcoin goes down, everything drops. So that's why, on top of that, the institutional investors, they're investing more in Bitcoin. They're not really investing in quant. Now, let's say an example, because also don't forget they call Bitcoin digital gold. So let's say, for example, Satoshi Nakamoto come out, or he decides, to do something grimy, like sell whatever Bitcoin he's holding on to and cause a major crash in the market. Then I feel like that's going to get a lot of institutional investor angry to the point that they're going to be like, you know what? We're going to have to pull Bitcoin out of the equation. And then I would say quant has a chance. In the meantime, it's very hard. Not saying that it's not possible, but it's very hard.
Let us say hello. Thank you for that, Wadi. Let us say hello to all the way. Inu is in the house. And here is a good question for the next question.
That's a troll question. That's a troll question. That's not a real question. That's a troll question. I love you all the way, Inu. That's a troll question.
I can do it for you. If you send me your private keys, I'll do it for you. You won't even have to waste your time.
Yep.
And all right.
Type them in the chat.
All right.
Type your keys in the chat.
So I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else in the comments that I forgot. But Salamander wants to let everybody know this is good here because there might be some Volt people in the house. And there's some Volt content creators here. Salamander in Space is saying he's sorry he forgot to mention that Volt is his bag. So
cool.
we talked about Volt. Does everybody here? Maybe Sean, do you have Volt too, or no?
I've owned Volt before and I sold it at a profit and have not got back in. There's too many. These are the questions I ask other people who own cryptocurrencies. Like, do I spend 1% of my crypto money on 100 different, projects or how do you do that? Because, in order to own all of these great projects and Volt's a great community, right? And they're doing good things, but Volt unfortunately is one of those things I think that won't exist in 5 years. So, why would I do that? Right. Unless I just want to be speculative and try to make a little money on it. So I hate to say it, but that's my opinion.
That's my mission. My mission is to get the Crypto Smith, to get him a moon bag of Volt on the BNB side. So we can even make it cheaper for him on the BNB side to grab it.
I'll look into it on the BNB side.
We are going to Volt the Crypto Smith before the bull run happens.
They get vaulted.
Whether it's now or whether it's 2 months from now, the Crypto Smith will be vaulted. I'm telling you, he will be vaulted.
I was vaulted before. I actually did several videos on Volt, a ways back, my journey, but I kind of dropped it.
We're gonna vote you again somehow, some way. I don't know what it's gonna take, but we're gonna vote you again, even on the BNB side. Make it cheap.
All right. I hear you.
Hey, guess who's in the house? Boomer effing Sooner is here. He's here and he apologizes. He's been watching football, so he's a little late. But thank you so much.
That's all right.
Thank
you for being here, Boomer. Yep.
Well, I hope it was a good game, Boomer.
All right, so let's bring this in here. Coochie Boy says the SEC has stated that all crypto needs to come to the table and register as a security, and the runway is getting shorter for enforcement. Most projects can't afford the fines, similar to the library.
You know, that's very well put. I think this, if anything, guys, everybody who's watching this, us, audience, and so on, look at what Coochie Boy stated. Most projects can't afford the fines. That alone is why a lot of us make that particular statement of 99% of all crypto projects won't be around. Think about it, because they simply can't afford to get slapped with these fines. So as a result, they go away. The blue chips are the ones that end up still being around because they simply can't afford it. Proof in the pudding, if you will. Ripple with XRP, or I should say Ripple SEC lawsuit, right? They basically said, all right, we have the money, bring it. We're going to fight you guys to the end, and they're doing it. And it's going to be a great win for crypto. Let's go shoot off the fireworks in the street. When it happens, all our neighbors will be like, what the heck are these guys doing for shooting off fireworks? We won the SEC lawsuit. That's what. Anyway.
Gucci Boy, here's my take on that real quick. And Max already said it. 99% of the projects won't be here once the SEC's done. And 99 of the, and if you're in a project right now that can't afford to fight a lawsuit, you're probably in the wrong project. They're probably living off their taxes. So that's probably the wrong project to be in. But 99% of them won't be here because they will have to register. And if they can't register and pass an SEC check to become a security, they probably shouldn't be here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wasn't laughing at you, Daniel, just in case. I was laughing at Lurv Tang. Says, guys, get yourself some nice bag of a low cap gem. Make sure it's a wife changing bag.
Yeah, he said it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Wife changing money.
And
then that's when Larry brought up some pictures of some woman, or it was just like, wow, this, smoking. Anyway, we have 45 people here. Could we get 50? Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
Hey,
Dave.
come on, guys. Can you get a? I mean, does anybody else have a fake couch behind them? Oh, you have some other fake back.
I'm gonna take that as a typo and just say I think I have some bags that are life changing.
Yeah,
it's life or wife?
Life.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna consider that one a typo for him.
Okay. Crypto for sizzle McDizzle for show. Your big money comes from institutional investors, and I don't think exchange. I think that's where L banks handle the big dog institutional folks.
Well said. Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Tim Shea says a Lurv thing. I think it will do big things as well. I like your comparison. Brian Dowie says, I think XRP and Quant are both going to pass BTC. How about this, Sean? Sean is Mr. XRP here. So do you think that XRP can beat Bitcoin? Do you think that XRP will have a larger market cap at some point?
So, and this, I'm going to make a distinction here because I think at some point in the future, I don't know when, XRP is not going to be considered a cryptocurrency, and you're not even going to see it on the list, right? It's going to be a financial reserve of maybe a tenth of the money moved around the world, and it's going to be worth a lot. Probably in the future, I don't think it's going to be in the hands of retail investors, those that got in early. Maybe it's a buyout. Maybe the price goes up so much to where everybody gets, everybody sells off and moves on. But yeah, of course it could, but I don't think it's going to be on the list. Once it reaches even 10% of its potential.
And I agree with you, Sean. And here's my theory on XRP and Quant. I agree exactly with what you just said, Sean, with XRP. And I think Quant's supply being so small is not by an accident. I don't think that Quant wants I think that they want their price to be so high. I think they're going to fall in exactly with Ripple, that it's going to be out of reach for retail investors. And it's
I have a question.
It's not going to be considered a cryptocurrency at some point.
So I have a question on the quant issue, and I know you were saying that you thought there was no reason to own quant, but I'm 90% sure that I read that these companies and institutions are going to have to hold quant in order to access those featers that they need.
That's why I said the value in quant is who's utilizing quant. It's not in the actual buying, it's the actual trading of quant, but it's the actual companies that utilize quant's technology. They have to own quant.
So at some point, there's not going to be any quant to purchase, right? It's going to be out there being traded back and forth in that secondary market between financial institutions.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Sean. No, I think that quant at some point will cease to be a cryptocurrency. I think that
there may be others too that they're the same. XLM might end up doing the same thing, and maybe it's just a currency, at some point in the future, on the retail side.
And that's why I think quant supply is so low, because they don't plan on being a cryptocurrency forever.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Interesting. That's interesting that you've framed it that way. So you think that at some point the technology is so good that it doesn't really matter that they're involved as a cryptocurrency itself. It's more of the software. As Max says, it's the Microsoft of crypto that's being quant. So I hadn't thought of it that way. So Max, did you want to say something?
The other thing I would like to mention is basically the operating system of Web3, if you want to be really specific. Currently speaking, back to what Sean was talking about in regards to quant, so they have these incentives, and we're always talking about, token utility or coin utility and so on. That it's just that, the utility based on the QNT token and so on. So, let's say, for instance, you're that particular financial institution, bank, and so on. You're going to take your QNT and you get a license, and especially if you put it in for, was it like a year and so on. I'm literally thinking, like, from the perspective of Microsoft Business Solutions, what they currently have. You have a whole bunch of people that have basically a business license or business keys, right? You can apply the same rules, if you will, when it comes to the likes of quant. I mean, it's from a different perspective, but you like how things are already in place to incentivize all these people. That's, again, where you get some of that utility. We already know of all the utility that quant has. For instance, the interoperability, 100 plus blockchains. I mean, that's just crazy. But on the specifics, Sean is right in regards to that. And I'm glad that some of you guys know about quant. That's great. We're up to 45 people right now. Thank you for joining us. Let's try to get to 50. And by all means, hit that like if you enjoy the show.
Max, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding on that whole situation with the quant token is, let's say I wanted a quant license, contract, whatever you want to call it, right? I would buy the amount of quant that I needed, give it to quant. They would lock it away. Let's say I bought my contract for 12 months, right? What I owned would be locked away for 12 months. And after my contract was up, quant would sell that on the open market. And if I wanted another 12 months, I would have to go buy quant at the current price that it existed. That's how I understand that to be.
I mean, that's one way going about it and so on. It's just, I do like the idea that, again, it's incentivizing the actual utility of the QNT token.
Well, and what I like about it is the fact that the people utilizing the technology are buying the quant on the open market at the current price that it exists at the time that they need their license, contract, fee, whatever you want to call it, right? And then it gets locked away at that price. Quant sells it, you have to rebuy it again.
Right, creates that much more scarcity because, again, it's being locked away. It's taken out of the circulating supply, just like any other crypto that we're passionate about, right? Like we always talk about, for instance, Luna Classic. We need to get Luna Classic, more people staking on it. But, if anything, that takes out of circulating supply.
You talk about Luna Classic.
What's that?
You talk about Lunar Classic.
Well, I'm
I
saying
don't
for
talk about Lunar Classic.
you don't like Luna Classic. Well,
Luna Classic, never heard of it.
oh jeez, you guys. Anyway,
Let's interrupt for 1 second. Let me just interrupt you guys for 1
with that
second.
said, quick commercial. No, okay.
Quick commercial on saying hello to a couple family members here. This is somebody new. Dutch Hexnican is here. Can you not get excited about Hex? And also, let's say hello to Mrs. Michael. April Cornwell is here. She says hola for all the Spanish-speaking people in the audience. It means hello. But yes, Dutch Hexnican says here, how about Hex? If you're staked, especially, you even make money in the bear market. So my bag of Hex is at 10 cents, and I know it's way down. Max said it was a distressed asset the other day. Anybody in Hex? Thoughts on Hex?
For the simple fact that he likes Hex, I'm not gonna comment on it. Like, I'll just say this: I don't stake my tokens.
Anybody else want to talk about Hex? Sean, are you into Hex, or any thoughts on Hex?
No, I'm not, and not that I don't wish that project well, but I wasn't a fan of the community, and there's a lot of cultism going on out there, and it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Well,
so
you said what I
and I got more. I got other things to worry about.
I agree with Sean. The other thing is, like, I'm not gonna lie, I respect Richard Hart. I think the guy is a genius. But my question is, what the hell is taking so long for Pulse Chain to come out? So
maybe Dutch Hexnican can answer that. Maybe he can tell us why it's such a delay for Pulse Chain. Max, do you have any thoughts on Hex? You're looking at it maybe as a distressed asset at this point. It's around.
I'm absolutely That's not me fudding. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of in this bear market that we've been in for pretty much all of 2022. Let's face it, the year is almost over. I do look at a few particular distressed assets. Technically speaking, Uniswap at one point was a distressed asset. We covered it here for a while. I said to people, hey, look out for this particular one. I think it was like at I remember Tim Shea definitely remembers it was in the $2 and some odd cent range, and it's done pretty well in this bear market. But technically speaking, when we heard the whole thing of Uniswap and AMP and a few others being thrown into that whole unofficial portfolio of the ones with a target on them from the SEC, that tanked the value of it for the time being, right? But when it comes to Hex, I'm looking at it from the perspective of I want to see how much further down this will go. Right now it's in was it slightly under 2 cents. It broke support. If it continues to break support, I mean, I'll say this much: 1 cent or below, yeah, you better believe I'm getting Hex, whether I'm technically a fan of Hex or not. I recognize opportunity. And so I'm looking at it from the perspective of, okay, all-time highs for Hex, if I'm not mistaken, was in the 40 cent plus range. Don't quote me on that. I could literally turn this into what I did with Dogecoin at the beginning of January 2021, where I got my Doge at a penny and then turned $300 into 22K. I'm looking at it from that perspective and that perspective only, not that I'm trying to be loyal to one particular token and so on.
The other thing that I gotta say, and that's the article that I was gonna read it on live stream today, but this is the fact that the U.S. Security and Exchange Commission (SEC) could reportedly take steep measure on Hex, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X initial coin offering, ICO. So Hex founder accused of fraud. How does that go? Yeah. I
don't know they have the money that Ripple does. I think they fold in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Max. Under a penny, I might throw some money at it just because I don't have to like you to make money off you. And under a penny, that might be a play there, depending on what the environment is at the time.
Yeah, put the whole cult thing aside. I mean, I'm with you guys in that regard, but I'm just looking at, money is money, looking at it from an opportunity perspective. But we need to take a moment to recognize Salamander again. Thank you so much, Salamander in space. Salamander, the XDC commander. Volt in his bag. Really cool. How about this? Let's take a brief moment.
You hear that, Sean?
Yeah, who wants to take this? You want it to be Wadi, for instance? I didn't hear from him, or who do you want to be Mr. Larry?
I just want to
What
ask
am
a
I
question.
taking? What am I
I want to
taking?
ask a question about Volt because you guys are Volt guys, and I know that Sean had it before, and I have a small bag of it still. But my question for you guys is, you know, we all like Volt. My question is this: so, is Volt planning on coming out with a video game, or are they planning on some sort of utility? What's going to be the utility for Volt in 2023? Because number one, I like Volt because of their marketing. That's number one. Number two, I like it because it has 100 exchanges, right? So it has tremendous exposure. But I'd like to know if there's some sort of utility that's being planned. Does anyone want to answer that?
Just wait and see that. I believe, here's my belief, just wait and see the upgrades to the multi-change and what they do,
Okay.
and how they make multi-change a one-stop swap, and how limit orders are already getting ready to be done. NFT platform will probably be on there. Don't be surprised if you see a burn count on there about how many tokens from other projects they're burning. Don't be surprised if you see a buy sell tracker on there, much like Coinbase has, where it can track all your buys and sells for you. Don't be surprised if you see all that stuff. Don't be surprised if multi-change becomes a one-stop shop and actually starts to compete with Uniswap.
So voltage change, is it going to be, is their niche sort of like low caps? Is that what they're putting on there, like community-based tokens?
They're not putting anything on there. They're completely wrapped around every ERC20 token that's listed, and they're completely wrapped around every BC, every Binance token that's listed on the Binance change. Okay. So they're tied into Uniswap. They're tied into PancakeSwap. So every time something gets listed, it's automatically listed on multi-change.
That's cool. Yeah. That is utility.
All right. Well, thank you.
And they're gonna have limit orders on there, and peer-to-peer swaps are already in. But there's a lot of things that I believe that are under development that it's probably gonna end up being a one-stop shop. Unlike
Daniel, you forgot the most important part. Even if the project doesn't have a burn wallet, it's going to automatically burn.
Yeah, it's going to create a no wallet for it.
Yeah.
So every token you buy, they're burning 0.25% of the token that you're buying. And if you're buying a token that doesn't have a burn mechanism built into it already, they make the no wallet and burn the token.
So there is your Volt update. So that we got it. Thank you. And then let's shout out to Cody Core's in the house. He says, Tim Shea. By the way, Cody Core, Max, you think he was like one of the first ones to ever watch our live show? Was he on the first live show?
I know for a fact he is. I know for absolute fact that he's. I'm not just stating that. I remember him from the first day they came on. Maybe even when I was a special guest with you. Yes, so I definitely remember Cody. Thank you so much, Cody, for joining us from work or where you're at home or where the case be. You're one of the OGs of OGs. You, Selmo Fudd is another guy I remember from back then. Shout out to Todd, aka Common Sense. No, not Rich. Common Sense Crypto, you guys are Common Sense, but shout out to him too for all that matter. The guys originally watched this all this time and so on. Really appreciate everybody here, and hope you're doing well, Cody.
Let's just bring in someone here. There is a question I wanted to bring in. Oh, actually a comment. So Crypto McDizzle says buying Quant right now is like buying Microsoft shares when they were building in the garage. That's an interesting comparison.
It's a great comparison.
Yeah, Quant is sort of like a relatively unknown. I mean, in the crypto world, some people know about it, but outside the crypto world, it's probably not known at all.
Larry, I made a thumbnail. Sorry, Dave, I mean to cut you off, man.
No, it's fine.
I was gonna say I made a thumbnail. It was, I think, maybe 2 Quant videos back when I was talking about the Banque de France. And in that particular thumbnail, it mentions buying Quant is like buying Bitcoin back in 2013 for $100. It's a fair comparison.
It is.
And I know you guys heard me say this. Of course, Rich of Common Sense Crypto mentions this quite a bit. Literally, Quant is our second chance at Bitcoin. You always, everybody's talking about, oh man, I wish we go. There's a time she exists. I wish we could go back. Like you don't have to go back. Quant is truly your second chance at Bitcoin in 2013 at $100. Why? Because of the utility, where they're going, everything they bring to the table for Web3. I mean, I could go on and on. You guys know me.
No, I think that's definitely a fair statement.
Yeah, and you can say that about a lot of these projects that we're pretty bullish on, for the next, 5-10 years. It's all of them are like buying Microsoft when they were building in the garage.
So we're going to say goodbye to Wadi because I know he has another obligation. Thank you for joining us, Wadi. We can keep going. Anybody that needs to go early, if you have other things, we understand. But
take care, Wadi. Good to have you, Wadi.
Thank you so much for joining us, Wadi. Yes, we appreciate it.
Thank you
We'll
guys
see you next
for
week.
having me. It's always a pleasure. Daniel, Sean, Max, Larry, Patches. Have a good one. Have a good night, everyone.
Wadi, what time's our Twitter tomorrow?
I believe it's 7. Same time as last time.
All right, brother.
All right. See you then.
Good night, Wadi.
Later, everyone. Good night.
Keltra is saying hello to Daniel here. So thank you again, Keltra, for being here. Mr. No Face, thank you for the £5 donation, right? Could the panel put forward the cases for XRP or Quant failing? Interesting. I get the feeling of a sure thing, but I've never seen one. Still buying. Great show, CTN. Thank you so much. So, all right, so let's play devil's advocate for a moment. I'm going to force Sean to do it because Sean loves XRP. Sean, is there any way that XRP can fail?
Well, I'm going to say it depends. I mean, what time frame are we talking about? Are we talking about XRP just goes to zero and goes away and we never talk about it again? No, I don't think that's possible. If they, there's certain things that could happen, events that could take place that it could cause XRP to go on into a very prolonged inactive period or basically stay flat as the government wrestles with it or the SEC just continues to try to drive it into the ground. And that all depends on what their motivation is, right? If they're trying to take XRP and use the XRPL and XRP is, as some sort of a U.S. currency or whatever, evil idea they've got, then that could have long-lasting effects. It could be years and years before we really see anything, but it doesn't go away. And keep in mind that XRP is used all over the world, and the smallest place it's used is here in the U.S. So
how about you? Thank you for that, Sean. How about you, Mr. Quant? But hey, can Quant fail at this point?
No, I mean, I know that, this is not really answering Mr. No Face's question to a sense, but I mean, it's like, come on, Mr. No Face. I mean, I appreciate the $5 super or £5 super chat. It's even more than that. But I'll put it this way, right? I guess we'll be realistic. This is not even realistic. This is just like extreme circumstances. So Gilbert Verdi, and he becomes the next Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't see that, for one, because we're talking about somebody with 20 plus years experience in this, right? I mean, come on, he wrote the ISO standard, Gilbert Verdi back in 2014, right? So I don't see that. So even with that said, let's say, for instance, that happens, right? It's not just Gilbert Verdi, and they have, for instance, other people that are part of the Quant team. So the technology is still going to be there. And that's a key thing I want people to, when this show is over eventually, one of the key things to take away from this, it's not about, for instance, the SEC. I mean, that's a big thing, but I mean, it's not just that. Like, the SEC wins a lawsuit. It's a big loss, of course, for crypto. It's a big loss for Ripple. But what is ahead? What's ahead here in the next few months, literally in late March, is ISO 222, compliance, the mandate, if you will, being rolled out now. Kind of like what Sean was mentioning, if we go back in time and we're looking at from the perspective of, oh crap, XRP was as high as what, $4, Sean, something like that back then. Yeah. You're looking at it from that perspective, and then boom, SEC lawsuit. Oh, man, was it since 2020? I mean, this thing has kind of been down in the dumps and it's tanked from there. Then yeah, that's one of those particular things. But even then, it hasn't gone away. And here's something that's really, really encouraging. So with all the FUD, all the crap that's basically happened to XRP, by the way, it's still in the top 10 So if something like that is still in the top 10, can you imagine when we get the on-demand liquidity? Are you kidding me? And all these other things. That's why I just don't understand why people aren't talking enough about XRP. It's going to be all that and then some, to say the least. But thank you so much. Yeah, in a bag of chips. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. No Face. We always appreciate you, man.
I'll give you a scenario where both of them fail.
All right.
I'll play devil's advocate and just say the only way that Quant and XRP fail, it's because we're in a technology-driven industry right here. And if somebody creates a better technology, both of them can fail. It's that simple.
I got to answer one more thing back to that, just real quick. I'm not trying to one up you. I'm not like that. I hate when people do that. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But anything, it's like, so Quant, right? Think about this. I even mentioned this on a recording. So somebody mentioned this in the comments a couple of times. But Max, what about the competition? I said, well, I don't. There is no real competition right now. They said, but what if? What if in the future they have competition? My answer basically would be, Gilbert Verdian and the crew of Quant would say, all right, we welcome you with full arms. Or if anything, they contact Gilbert and the crew and say, hey, we like to be interoperable with you guys. And they say, all right, no problem. You guys don't have to do jack diddly squat. We'll do it for you with 3 lines of code. Boom. There you go.
I'm playing devil's advocate, just saying that either way, the only way that either one of them fail is if people create better technology. And yes, Quant could do that and probably could work collaboratively with their competition, but competition doesn't usually like to. I'll give it to you from a business perspective. Competition doesn't like to work collaboratively with anybody if their job is to put Quant out of business.
But that's the beautiful thing about crypto, my friend.
I'll take it one step further, Daniel.
So that's the only way I can see it.
So competition creates innovation. And I guarantee you, and Daniel, you're right. There will be competition for every single thing that's out there is going to be supplanted by something else in the future, right? XRP thinks they have it, and the XRPL and all that. Somebody's going to create a better way to do it. Maybe 50 years from now, we don't know, but there will be there will be new blockchains. There may be something else beyond the blockchain that nobody's even thought of yet. But yeah, these technologies will be supplanted at some point.
Let's thank you for that, gentlemen. Salamander in Space, thank you for the $2 donation. How much? Here's a fun question for you guys. How much XRP would you hodl to become millionaires? What do you think you need? What's the magic number of the amount of XRP coins that you need to become a millionaire with XRP?
Take where you think XRP is going to level off at its high and do the math of how many XRP you need at that point to be a millionaire, and there's your answer.
But but then you have to take into account level off at whatever high point you think it's going to be, but what's your time frame? I mean, are you 20 years old and you've got time to wait, right? You don't want to sell it, in 2 years if it's $27.40, right? Because it has a much higher potential than that. So, if I'm in my 50s, right, I don't have a ton of time just to sit around and wait for it. So, I have to look at my time horizon and see, how much money do I want? What's life changing? What's going to make a difference to me? And how old am I going to be when that happens? Or am I just going to let it go and give it to my kids?
I want XRP to make me a millionaire in the next 10 years. So
I think that's 100% possible.
So my math is in the next 10 years, between the next 5 to 10 years, I have to have enough XRP in my wallet to make sure that I have $1 million in that time frame. So
do you have a price point where you like, hey, once it hits this price point, I'm selling some, maybe sell a little bag or whatever. Like where's the first price point?
I have three different bags: short term, midterm, long term. So my first price point is I'm going to try to sell at they win their SEC lawsuit, and I believe that they get up to probably the $5 range. Once they pump there, I can dump a very small bag, and that bag that I will dump at $5 will pay for everything that I have in all the rest of the 3 of my bags.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And
so I'm not looking to make a dime when I dump that bag. I'm just looking to pay for the rest of my other 2 bags that are sitting out there, midterm, long term.
let us bring this one in. Thank you so much to somebody new we haven't seen before. Wes R.A., thank you for the $5 donation. Here's another XRP question. If so many people buy and use XRP, then how come the price is so low?
I can answer that. So I appreciate the $5 super chat for one. It sounds like you're wanting to learn more about crypto and whatnot. And if this is the first time you're at our show, thank you so much for even tuning into our show, by the way. So to answer that specifically is a few different reasons for that. Number one, the SEC lawsuit. That's just a reality. Number two, also because of the crypto winter that we're basically in. And those are the 2 major factors for why the price is just that, so low. On top of that, number 3 would be for that is it's not focused on retail like the likes of us and so on. It's focused more towards that institutional money. But by the way, there's going to be a particular video that's going to be released soon. Shout out to Mike Cornwell, who pointed out the whole thing with Visa with the peer-to-peer payments. Yeah, XRP getting into peer-to-peer. What about XLM? You guys talk about the competition. Now Stellar's got some competition. So
yeah,
there is that. But yeah, the way I look at it is if you're wondering about why that price is so low, that's the reason why. And if anything, not telling you what to do, but for me personally, I'm accumulating even that much more XRP because we have not seen us at its fullest potential, especially when it comes to that on-demand liquidity being released. Hopefully the start of it will happen late March when you have ISO 222 compliancy of that particular mandate come in. You see the start of that influx of crazy amounts of money that we've never seen before. That's what I'm talking about. The utility run. Everybody's talking about the bull run. Watch out for utility run. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to. The utility run triggers the bull run. It just simply makes sense to me.
Sean, would you like to add anything to that answer that Max gave, or subtract anything, add, subtract?
It's a good answer. I mean, yeah, it's a good answer. I mean, and I'm sure all those things are factors, and I'm going to take the SEC lawsuit out of it. I'll say that's not even a factor right now. I think the biggest things are for what it's designed to be used for, right? Right now, what it's being used for is there's hundreds of financial institutions, right, that are basically testing with it and have been for many years. So they have not really flipped that switch yet. I mean, we may not see that for another year, 2, 3, I'm not sure when. That is one thing. And the other thing is that Ripple themselves basically releases about 500 million tokens, I believe, every month right now until they have it held in escrow. And so that is, and they've even admitted that is, kind of artificially suppressing the price. So, I mean, we have those are 2 huge factors right now. And eventually that will end. Just like, what's his name? Who's the co-founder? Who basically had 9 billion tokens, and he was under contract to sell them.
You're talking about David Schwartz?
Yeah.
No, the founder of XLM.
He was selling them out of his bags.
I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. I remember his taco stand wallet.
Because I know that David Schwartz has been taking some heat for dumping some of his XRP or what, but he's not the anyway.
Yeah, but he got paid in stock for a lot of his. He didn't really. He wished he would have taken the XRP token.
Right.
But yeah, so then I'm going to say those are probably the 2 biggest things right now. And yeah, of course, the SEC has an emotional effect. The rest of the world out there. Everybody's
watch out for the
Jed McCaleb. Yeah, Crypto McDizzle nailed it. Jed McCaleb co-founded XRP. Then he left, went on to found XLM, and they gave him 9 billion tokens, and he was basically under contract to sell those off in a very, easy way, so it really doesn't affect the market. So, and he months ago finally sold his last bit.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
people thought there was going to be some sort of a pump once that ended, but it wasn't that much of a difference on the price.
Watch out for the Ripple IPO once they win this case, because that's going to be huge.
Dude, I'm going to jump in as fast as I can on that, man. If I can get in on that, I'm getting in.
My fingers aren't going to be working fast enough to get in. I'm trying to get in as soon as they announce it. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a game changer.
Let's shout out to Steve the Canadian is back in the house. He says, "Oh hey," because that's what they say
Hey,
in
Steve.
Canada.
Good to have you here, eh?
Hey, Steve.
Brian Dowie says the lawsuit is like a TV show or a play, staged till the time is right. FTX may have sped up things a bit, so he's thinking that a little bit of this is sort of like a dog and pony show. Salamander, Tim Shea, the crypto commissioner, is going to answer Salamander and Space's question. He's saying that in order to become a millionaire, he thinks 10,000 XRP would be a safe number.
Also depends on how long you're going to hold that particular XRP. I mean, you know, technically speaking, someone could say all you need is 250 XRP if you're willing to hold it till it's $10,000 a coin. And for instance, that's $2.5 million. If you're looking at it from that perspective, that's a long hold, right? But again, it just simply depends. Like, you have a scenario like what Sean is mentioning. You look at it from a age perspective and so on. You know what I mean? Depending on how old you are and so on. I don't mean no disrespect, Sean, but you know, man, it's just again, it depends. You know, like,
I'm old. It's okay.
You're not that old.
You're gonna get there one day, Max.
Well, I'm 41, so yeah.
Well, I think we are going to start to wrap things up. We've had a great show. We've been going an hour and 46 minutes. And I want to just thank again, Daniel, Sean, of course, Max. Patches is taking a nap. But thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for joining us here. And let's just show everybody the channels real quick. We'll start with Sean this time, the Crypto Smith. If you guys are not familiar with him, here he is right here, the Space Crypto Smith. All one word. Great content creator. He's been here a few times, so we appreciate it. Hopefully he can come back again next week with us. But we thank him for being here. And then also we thank Daniel Gayton, another great content creator, a part of our family as well. CTN family here, Sean and Daniel Gayton. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and wrap things up here. We'll give, let's let Sean talk first, if he wants to talk about his channel a little bit, and then we'll have Daniel talk and say anything he wants to say about his channel, what he's working on.
Sure, I appreciate it. I always love talking to you guys. It's always a treat for me.
You too.
You know, I certainly don't know everything. I know very little. So, and talking to you guys, obviously, I get to learn new things. So it's you know, super cool for me. But there's two things I want to say, and I want to address Crypto McDizzle's a comment that he made a little bit earlier that we didn't talk about. But my channel, you know, I haven't done a lot of content lately. I've been kind of taking a break, trying to reorganize, you know, vigorate my, you know, my passion for it, and kind of figure out the direction I'm going to go. And I'm going to get away from really the community tokens, except for MMAI, of course, because that's one of my favorites. And get more into the XRP and the quants and all of this, you know, the serious stuff. And I'll call it more highbrow type content, right? But Crypto McDizzle made a statement here earlier and says, I don't think XRP will need to be sold for generational wealth, you know, staking and whatnot. And I know what he's alluding to. And Crypto Lulu talks about this too. And so I want to leave you with this.
He does.
Imagine, you know, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, where there is no more quant available. Companies are using it, right? They're utilizing it. It's getting held out there. You don't need to sell it, right? You could lease it to companies to utilize and make money off of that. You know, XRP could be the same way. You know, if they don't take it from us or steal it from us, you know, or force a buyout or anything like that, and we're able to hang on to it, and all of the financial institutions, central banks, countries, you know, they buy up, you know, massive supplies of the XRP token so they can use it themselves, you know, and we're left with, you know, maybe the leftovers. You can also lease your tokens to banks, you know, for interest rate payments and things like that. So there's a lot that could go on in the future that could really set you guys up, or set somebody up, right, for something we've never even thought of before.
All right. Thank you for that, Sean. Yes. And thank you for that comment that came in earlier from Crypto Mike, Crypto McDizzle. So We appreciate that. And then Daniel, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you're working on your channel? You have a morning show that's going on. Tell us about that as well.
Yep, I try to stream as much as I can first thing in the morning, right around 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's early, but I like to go through the pre-markets and look at all the pre-markets, both stock pre-markets and crypto pre-markets, and then get into the crypto news for the morning. Just kind of sets my morning up right. So I figured why not just bring it to a live stream. So of what I do all day. And, you know, I cover, you know, MetaMonkey AI, Volt, Bone, Shib, and then I really started to cover ALBT on my channel a lot. But right now with us being in the bear market and not a lot of news, what I want to do is I want to start concentrating on things like I did today, of really how are we surviving the bear market? You know, what are some of the things that we're doing so that it's not as stressful and as unbearable as a bear market could be, but also staying true to covering ALBT, some of the ISOs, along with Volt and MetaMonkey AI. But I think now is the time to really start talking to people about, you know, what is a bear market? How do we operate in a bear market? How do we not stress out in a bear market? Things like that, because these could be some very stressful times for a lot of people. And, you know, just any little bit of advice to people that are stressed out in these times or don't know what to do because they came in during the bull market, you know, if we can just help them out just a little bit, I think that's beneficial information.
Thank you again, Daniel, for being here. And then Max, if you want to just mention something here to the audience, appreciate everybody joining us here. But if you want to just wrap things up, and I do want to make a special announcement when you're done talking, Max.
I know what it is, man. Hey, you guys, everybody, don't leave yet. Larry's got a wonderful announcement to make. It's going to be awesome. But I'm going to state this. I just want to thank, of course, Daniel, Wadi, who isn't here right now. He had to leave earlier. Sean, the Crypto Smith, and so on, for you guys being here. We love doing these particular roundtables. But I'm going to state this much, you guys. You're going to love what Larry is about to mention here in a bit. But if anything, be on the lookout, of course, for more quant covers, some of these other ones, XLM, XRP, and so on, LCX, the ones that we basically cover and whatnot. We have a follow-up from today's quant coverage in regards to what Gilbert's been doing with MIT. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be released tomorrow morning. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it on over to Larry for this particular announcement. If you guys aren't excited about this, I don't know what to say. So here we go.
Okay, you really put me on the spot here, Max, because I think that you and I are on a different wavelength. But what I do
okay.
Yeah, what I do want to make an announcement is that Michael couldn't join us tonight, but he's going to be here tomorrow as a special guest. Michael, Crypto Lounge is going to be here tomorrow with myself and Max, but on our show here live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But there must be something that I'm forgetting to announce, Max. Is there one other thing that I'm forgetting that you go ahead and just tell me what you're thinking?
The squares, man, the squares.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we're going to do something fun next week. We're going to mix it up a little bit. So we have the round table going on. We're going to continue the round table. So I'm thinking we might do 2 different days, but next Wednesday, we're going to try to do something different. We're going to do the CTN, what we're going to call the CTN crypto squares. So if you guys remember the Hollywood squares, you guys see squares up here. They're more like rectangles, but CTN crypto squares. It's going to be something exclusive. We're going to play a game, and everyone's invited to go on the CTN crypto squares. It'll be hopefully Daniel can make it, Sean can make it, maybe, and also maybe Wadi can make it, and well, maybe Jeremy can make it. But we'll get a bunch of people we can try to play this game here. So what we'll probably do is have one night will be a round table, and another night will be the CTN crypto square. So that's what you were saying. I knew there was something exciting that you were wanting me to mention, but
yeah, totally.
So that'll be next Wednesday. We'll try it out for the first time. We'll have to practice with our panel, our I guess game show contestants. Daniel, maybe Sean is available. I don't know. So
guys,
are you
it'll
guys
be a fun
next
thing.
Week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good next week.
Okay.
I'm good next week. Sean, the Crypto Smith, you gotta show up for that, man. You gotta show up for
I'll be here.
Well, it'll be
it's
fun
gonna-
for the audience too. I mean, the audience
Yeah.
will be able to be part of it as well. So it's gonna be a really cool thing.
I'll tell you this: I have a flight Wednesday morning, and as long as that goes well, I'll be here.
Hopefully
It'll be
it's
good.
not-
Yeah, we're gonna try to mix it up. We're actually gonna try to make a game of it to make it a little bit of a different feel. We already had a lot of fun with the roundtable, but I'm thinking we could have one night will be a game show, and then another night will be a roundtable discussion. So some people will make it for the game, and some people make it for the roundtable. Maybe they can make it for both. That'd be kind of cool.
And it's all crypto related. So I mean, the questions kind of like if you guys ever watched Hollywood Squares back in the day, they ask those particular stars questions and so on. But in this case, it will be crypto related. And I think if anything, the our audience who tunes in, they'll love it or appreciate it. There might be that one guy that's like, I hate this. You guys aren't talking about my bullcrap Inu from 3 years ago. Shame on you. But anyway.
And Salamander in Space, thank you so much for supporting our CTN family content creators, I guess we'll call them. He subscribed to Wadi, Sean, and also Daniel. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, no, I'm not getting back to back together with the Rock Lady. That's not the announcement. Patches is gonna have a square, but he won't be able to answer. But he might have a square. Yep.
And Sean has a tremendous show on Saturdays, guys. Sean sells himself short sometimes. He's probably one of the smartest guys I know. He's got a great show on Saturdays. It's a good show. Tune into it. It's pretty laid back. It's pretty laid back.
Sean, tell us about your show on Saturday. What time is it on Saturday on your channel?
It is 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm multitasking. I'm trying to bring up your channel right now. So you have a live show on Saturdays. Say it again, please. The time.
2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 3 o'clock my time.
Okay, perfect.
So 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, you guys.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's it. It used to be later, but I had some people across the pond there that wanted to watch. So I made it a little earlier because it's obviously late for them.
Well, great.
Good show. It's a good show. Talks about XRP. Good show. I'm
I
plugging
appreciate
you, Sean.
it. I appreciate that, Daniel.
He's plugging your channel there. So that's good. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, everybody in the audience, for joining us. We've got probably 96.5% of you are men, and the other, 4.5% is it? Can't even do the math.
And the other 4.5% are Rock Ladies.
Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Michael from the Crypto Lounge will be with us. And good night to everyone. Thank you once again for watching.
See you later.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.